Boxing fans, this is the Rope-A-Dope Report. Check these out, countrymansfist.com. Rope-A-Dope Radio every Wednesday, or listen to it on demand anytime you want on the archive episodes. Jeff Mayweather this weekend. He's coming over to the house this weekend. No, he's coming on the show on Wednesday. Should be a good in-depth interview. We've had Eddie Chambers. And we actually had Mickey Bay, a fighter, an up-and-coming prospect, one fighter of Jeff Mayweather. So we'll be talking about him and talking about the whole Jeff Mayweather, what he's got in store for the future, some fighters, and just in general talk to him about how it is training. Maybe I mentioned Floyd in there a little bit. Anyway, let's talk Pacquiao and Clottey. Now Clottey, shell defense, right? Shell defense. Drops the left, I'm pretty sure, when he's trying to throw that right hand once in a while. He's got a good jab if he uses it. Me, personally, I did have him pulling out a very tight fight against Cotto. I could see if you had the fight tied at 6-6 and then the knockdown gave Cotto the decision. I can understand the last two rounds that he didn't necessarily throw a bunch of punches, so if you thought you had Cotto in a tight fight, I understand. I personally had Clottey winning that fight. Basically, the keys to victory for Clottey will be, in all of his big fights, he just doesn't throw enough punches. Now, that doesn't mean you gotta throw a ton of punches and just don't even worry about it, but you just gotta be a little more aggressive. And maybe not even aggressive is the word for it, just busier. Just busier. You gotta out hustle people. He's a big guy, big strapping guy, right? But he doesn't have a ton of power. He's got a jab, and he's gonna have to use it, because you saw in the Pacquiao Cotto, and we also saw that in Marquez Pacquiao. Manny is there to be hit with the jab in the right hands. So really, if it's just busier with those two hands, that would work with it. Clottey's the type to shell up, let you get off, let the fighter, let the fighter get off on you, and then he gets off on you, and then he slowly catches up to you and tries to time you and stuff like that. I wouldn't call him that great of a counter puncher per se. He's very fundamental in his defense. Although the problem with Clottey, and this will be the 2 points: aggressiveness, just overall busy. Will he put his work rate up a little bit, or movement? He's got that shell defense, but he's there to be hit right in front of you. In fact, he said he's going to come forward. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but he said he's actually going to bring the fight to Manny in the interview so far that I've heard. I'm not sure if that's a great idea. I think you just put out your output a little bit and shoot, maybe even move your head a little bit. My thing is, if he had that shell defense and he could move laterally or circle, he could show some good movement, I think he could pull up an upset. But I don't see that. I think that Manny Pacquiao is going to get in there, and I think the first couple rounds could be a little style matchup problem for Manny. That'll be interesting. Usually when you fight Manny Pacquiao, you have to adjust to him and then go from there. If you look at the last fight, Pacquiao actually adjusted to Cotto somewhat and started throwing that right hand, that right hook. No matter what, he was still doing his aggressiveness and coming forward. It just now his footwork's a little better and he's throwing his right hand a little more. But it did take a little while to break Cotto down a little bit. He was getting hit with the jab, and so it'll be interesting to see. I wouldn't doubt if Clottey throws a lot of jabs and the straight right hand. And my thing is, do you just shell up and then let Manny get off on you and then get off on him? Because he has a tendency to do that. Clottey punches in bunches, in spots during each round. So I think you have to be overall just busier. Now, I'm not talking about 40 more punches. If you threw 10 to 15 more punches and set up some things even in the meantime while you're doing that, I think you could win some rounds, When he did have Cotto hurt and in the corner and there to be taken, at least winning rounds, if not winning the whole fight, maybe stopping him, he didn't take it, and he said, that's Cotto, that's Miguel Cotto. There, you got to respect it because he had gotten put down. He's got a good chin, but he came in and got caught with a nice jab from Cotto. So he was a little worried, like I can't get a 10-8 round now, so I'm gonna respect him. Well, you're not gonna be able to respect Manny and actually beat him. I mean, you have to respect him. Don't get me wrong. I kind of said that wrong, but if it's there, take it and be busy, because if you're just going to go, well, that's Pacquiao, I didn't want to get knocked down. Well, you're just going to get outpointed, That'll be the interesting part right there. Like I said early, I could see maybe some style matchup problem for Manny. I think once Manny gets off, gets that footwork going, gets that in and out style, gets to throwing that right hand a little more, I do think he'll be too much for him. But like I said, I wouldn't doubt early if it's a good competitive fight. I do think by the middle and late rounds that Pacquiao will win the fight. I could see by a knockout that wouldn't, My thing is Clottey. Another thing is he'll get on the rope and I don't think you really want to rope a dope Manny Pacquiao. One, you're just giving away the round, and two, he may come up with something clean because he's very accurate, and I don't think Clottey's going to do that too much. You know what I mean? Another thing is to look for Manny Pacquiao working that body. He's open to the body. It's scoring points. It's at least just maybe opening something up for later in the fight or later in the round. But I do see Pacquiao working the body more than you usually see him, especially if he's up on that ropes and there's nowhere to be found, clean shots. He's going to go to that body. So I have Manny Pacquiao, maybe late knockout, maybe decision. I would say 9th, 10th round and on. I don't see an early knockout. Could happen. Of course, it's Manny. You could catch him with a great left hand or something. But I do have Pacquiao winning by KO or late, or decision, but a late KO. And actually, for the contest, the fantasy contest, I'm just gonna put this in there. I'm gonna have Manny by is he gonna knock him out? I'm gonna have Manny by 10th round, 10 round KO. I'm not really sure, as you can see. 10 round KO, Manny Pacquiao, and that's for that's my prediction for the fantasy 12th and final round fantasy contest. So, I personally think that he could probably make it, but I'm not going to put that down as my pick. So, yeah, peace.